In this video, I'm going to review Kanto. Kanto is a new blockchain, layer 1 blockchain that launched just a couple of months ago, and it gives really interesting vibes similar to one of the biggest blockchains so far because it's built actually by people with passion. It's a decentralized from the start, and it's an experiment in decentralization and building free tools for everyone to use so that in the long run there are enough incentives for developers to build on a blockchain so it sustains itself. This is really interesting because the biggest problem with having a new chain is actually attracting developer talents, and if you can manage to actually bring new developers by showing them something cool, this will be enough to really take off. So of course, do your own research before buying Kanto. It's super early for the coin, and this video is purely educational, not a financial advice. I'm just going to go through some of the things you can do. So the website is canto.io, and what you can do here is bridge your assets from Ethereum mainnet to Kanto. So if you want to start, for example, trading on Kanto or doing other stuff or building stuff on Kanto, you need to have Kanto tokens. In order to do that, you can go from Ethereum through the bridge. There are two steps going from the Ethereum to bridge and then bridge to EVM. So you have this layer in between Ethereum and the Kanto EVM. The Kanto itself is built on Cosmos using Cosmos SDK. So it's not really trying to improve on the existing blockchain technology, but it tries to improve on the social context and how everything is organized with new layer 1. So that's really interesting. And yeah, so basically, once you also try to log in for the first time, you'll be prompted to generate a public key, and then you will receive some free Kanto as well. So this is basically like $1 you can get because that's like half a Kanto right now, but this will be enough to actually bridge some of your assets, so for example like USDC or ETH to Kanto mainnet, and then you'll be able to get the Kanto coins on Slingshot. Slingshot is the one of the DEXs, the aggregators, where you can go to Kanto and actually exchange. For example, if you have some other coin, like if you bridge USDC, you will be able to exchange that to Kanto and get the Kanto on the Kanto mainnet. Okay, coming back to Kanto, why it's cool. There are a bunch of things, standard things you can do, as I've mentioned: bridging, lending, but everything is built into Kanto. So this is what they explain on the blog. If you go to the first article explaining the Kanto, I'll post the link down below in the description. Then basically they want to go with the free public infrastructure. So they want to organize everything that DeFi primitives like lending, like decentralized exchange, they want that to be entirely free. Anyone can give a commit, and basically there's no one team that will build that from the scratch and then profit from that, because they want to avoid the problem with actually having that approach and someone taking the wrong incentives and being taken over by greed, and for example just launching more and more coins. So they want to keep that open, keep that free. This is really a nice approach. They write about it here, I guess. Yeah, so the protocol cannot be upgraded and will remain ungoverned. This is for the decentralized exchange. It will run in perpetuity on Kanto without ever being able to launch a token or implement additional fees over time, preventing the possibility of a predatory evolution toward rent-seeking behaviors. So basically, rent-seeking behaviors is another word for greed. They don't want to have, usually, exchanges have really strong incentive to launch as many coins as possible because they earn the fees from the volume, and what better way to generate volume than just to launch a new coin, new token. This is not what Kanto is trying to do. They won't have that incentive. Generally speaking, they want to build something which is working well, fundamentally good, and also they don't try to look for VCs. They don't have like a massive runs. On the other hand, there are VCs that jumped into Kanto after it already launched, which is also not that common, and it's very interesting. You can go to variant.fund. The Variant Fund is the VC that actually jumped into Kanto after Kanto already launched, and they bought the coins on the market, in the market. Also, I will post the link down to this article. They write their 2 cents about the article, and they core believe that basically meritocratic distribution of value in the markets is a really good thing, and they want to have a good way to distribute, to have this positive feedback loops that compound economic growth. This is like a great thing, and this is exemplified in the philosophy of Kanto. So this is interesting, and they write more from the economical perspective, why it's interesting to do this experiment. So all in all, Kanto is pretty interesting, and also it has big names in DeFi on Twitter talking about it regularly, which is always a good thing because there's an interest generated about Kanto. Definitely worth looking at. So again, you can buy it on Slingshot, or you can buy it on like MaxC. There are, I think, 3 smaller exchanges where you can buy Canto tokens right away without like bridging, just buying off the exchange. So you might have a look at it. If you're interested in the price action, it's pretty much stable from the very beginning. Actually, it's at the same price it was when it launched. So if you look at it from the beginning, it launched around 17 cents, and it's around 18 cents right now, with a small heap in November. It did 2x, but that was basically it. So there was not much of a price movement here. It's relatively a new coin, so it's definitely still pretty early, and it's worth taking a look at. So again, not a financial advice, but definitely educate yourself on Kanto. It's worth knowing about it and see what the people will build on it. So thank you for watching. All the links will be down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel for more crypto updates, and see you in the next